2012 was a really exciting year for digital. We saw lots of changes, we saw sorts of positive moves and some questionable moves. 2013 will be just as exciting and thought-provoking as it's ever been. Here are my 8 digital predictions for 2013. So the first prediction is that mobile will overtake desktop internet usage this year. We've seen huge amounts of mobile devices coming onto the market, from tablets through to the best smartphones available. I think 2013 people will be using them more and more, either at home or when they're out and about, and we'll see internet usage surpass desktop for the first time. So I think because of the maturity of the market, especially with mobile devices being used more and more, if people don't, or businesses don't invest in mobile this year, I think they'll start to fall behind their competitors. They'll start to frustrate their users, and ultimately I think they'll lose money. So this is really the year to be investing in mobile, and sooner rather than later. The second prediction is about putting your hand in your pocket, and that basically refers to spending more on your paid for advertising online. Google made some changes end of last year which made the Google Shopping product feed a paid for service rather than free. We've seen things like Facebook and Twitter introduce more paid for services to allow you to get in front of more people, basically. So if you are looking to increase your reach, get ahead of your competitors, or just appeal to more people online, then you've got a lot more paid channels you can use. Ultimately, it means you're probably going to have to spend a bit more money. Lots of businesses rely on Google. We, as an agency, see lots of our clients spend lots of money with Google AdWords, or we spend a lot of our time and effort trying to get websites to rank highly on the search engines, especially Google in the UK. What we've seen in the last couple of years is Google shift from being this company that said they would never do evil to starting to do things which are slightly questionable. Google introduced a number of updates last year which affected the search rankings, Panda and Penguin to name a couple, although well-intentioned, did actually cause some pain to businesses. And they've also started to see Google change the search results slightly to be more paid-led than organic-led. Again, that for businesses means you just can't really trust them, rely on them to know exactly what they're going to do. And also, if they did decide they didn't like you and you lost all your rankings, then you should be looking to diversify into other channels. So if Google is your main driver of business, then just beware and start thinking outside of Google for more visitors. So the fourth question is, what do I think will happen to Apple in 2013? My prediction is that Apple will start to stagnate. They've lost their visionary founder, Steve Jobs, and the competition has really caught up with them in terms of the devices you can get now, the sorts of experience you used to get on Apple, which was unique to them, you can now replicate, and companies like Google and Samsung have managed to catch up with those sorts of technologies. So I think Apple has got a real problem on its hands, and if it doesn't do something really revolutionary, I think it will start to stagnate and maybe in the long term start to decline. But certainly this year, I think Apple will be a stagnant company. So the fifth point is we are all the news. That's my prediction this year. By that I mean that as businesses, as even individuals, we will start to be using these social channels, start to use our blogs and our websites to become the news in our industry. Things like newspapers are not really read anymore. People consume a lot of their news and activity through digital channels, and there's an opportunity there for businesses and individuals to build their own profile by writing really good content, by being proactive in the social networks, and sharing content, sharing thoughts and sharing news stories. So I think 2013 will be the year we'll start to see people become the news rather than the media outlets we've traditionally had. The rel author thing, as part of that prediction, basically means that when you search for a particular news story or a particular person, you'll see an author biography next to the search engine listing. We've seen already the impact of that, where if there is an author behind a story and their picture appears in the Google search results, those links tend to get a huge amount more clicks than just the traditional blue links that we've had in the past. So if you are writing content regularly, you definitely need to be using the rel author tag, and we'll be giving more information about that throughout the year where we see it applicable for businesses. The sixth prediction is that experience is everything. This is probably the one which I think resonates most with me, especially. The amount of times I use my mobile phone to access a website online is growing. I sit at home on my Wi-Fi, I'm out and about a client office on 3G, and I use a website I particularly want to find some information about or buy something from, interact with, and it doesn't work on my mobile phone. It's the most frustrating thing I can think of, and it really gives me a negative view of that business that I'm interacting with when I can't do what I want to do on my mobile phone, when I know if I'm using my desktop I can. So for businesses who do have mobile users or have a percentage of people visiting their websites or using their online platforms via mobile devices, they really do need to start thinking about having a really seamless mobile experience in the same way that you would a desktop experience, and businesses really do need to be concentrating on that this year. Okay, real-time marketing I think will grow this year. Main reason being is that platforms like Facebook and Twitter are real-time platforms. If someone wants to comment on a TV program or interact with some of their friends or businesses or brands they like, they can do that in real time. So what we've started to see is the technology is caught up with the advertisers and the users, and the tools which are available to allow you to interact or advertise in real time are now there. But what we've seen so far is they've typically been used by big businesses. So for smaller businesses, the SMEs, with smaller budgets, they've now got the ability to use this as another channel to market, and we expect to see quite a lot of that sort of advertising and marketing playing a role in marketing budgets this year. Eighth prediction is SEO, as in oh dear. Now we've, as an agency, been doing SEO for probably nearly 10 years now. We've had a successful track record over the 10 years of getting clients from page 6 to page 1 to listing number 1 over a long period of time. The issue we're starting to see is that some of the techniques which we had traditionally used don't now work, and Google has changed the rules of the game quite considerably, not only in the way that you do optimization, but also in the way that optimized results, the free listings, are now handled. So one of the big statistics we looked at last year in 2012 was the identification of the number of pages, number of results listed on the first page, which went from 10 down to 7. So we're now starting to see that more, and it basically means, thanks to that and things like Google Analytics and Google hiding keyword data via not provided, it makes SEO as a channel a bit more dubious as to how effective it is, because it's harder to analyse, you're getting less chance to appear on the first page. So it just means, as a service and as a route to market, SEO will be still very, very successful, just proving it will be quite a lot harder. So those are my 8 predictions for 2013. I'd like to think I'll get some of them right, but if you keep reading our blog throughout the year, we'll see how we get on, and look forward to reviewing them at the end of the year.